All right. So in this part 2, I'm gonna tell you what I did, what I started noticing. So as the lawyers, like I would reach out to about like 4 or 5 lawyers in a day, right? And I'm not a spring chicken when it comes to cases. So I know, like, normally when a lawyer listens to your case, you sign paperwork and they telling you, like, you can't say anything, you can't report this, that, or the other. That means that they representing you. And I didn't have about 2 lawyers do that to me and take, the first lawyer took a couple of months. He took like 2 months out of the investigation time in. And then I had another lawyer that took about 2 weeks. But it's like they stalling me. Because if I was just be like, oh, I'm waiting for them to get back to me, right? Then I'm going to be on some old other, like, worried about other things. But my mind is constantly on this. I don't see how they don't think it would be. So I started noticing, like, delays, and some of the lawyers would get back to me, and right now I'm still waiting on about 2 of them to get back to me to let me know, are they going to represent me or whatever. But when I started thinking about it, like, I already know what they trying to do. They trying to buy time, and they probably think I'm talking to one lawyer at a time, but that's not how I'm doing it. Like, I know they giving me 2 years from the time it happened to find a lawyer, and they trying to hustle me right now. And I thank God, I thank the Most High right now for AI. Like, a lot of people got a lot to say about AI and ChatGPT, but if it wasn't for AI and its intelligence, then I would be assed out right now. So, I was reaching out to reporters. I started reaching out, like, just phasing back out. I call it like phase 1, phase 2. I'm like, talking to ChatGPT and letting them know that the discrepancies now is something that is the reason why, the lawyers are not, they didn't take my case. And my son's grandmom had texted me one day, and I was telling her about it. And then I thought about it, like, you know what? I'm sitting up here, trying to find a specialist. I was even looking at, because, all right, so hear me out. I know, like, dental school, you could go to, like, University of Maryland, certain dental schools, they'll give you student services, right? And recently I started going to this certain massage college to get massages, because they have a massage school, so I would get student massages. So I'm like, well, maybe they have student pathologists, toxicologists, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could probably look at these reports and redetermine this for me. Like, they could probably do it for, like, classwork or something like that. So I started even looking into that, trying to find, like, students who could look into that. But then I thought about it. I was like, I have ChatGPT right here in the palm of my hand, and I could use ChatGPT because it's a computer. So at the end of ChatGPT, you see in small letters that it can make mistakes. But at the end of the day, ChatGPT is only going to be as good as the person that's using it. If you know how to program ChatGPT, read it for errors, call it out on its errors, change certain language, you can build ChatGPT to work for you. And that's what I did. So regardless of the errors that it made, as a human, I can go back and verify physically with my eyes to see, does this check out? So all ChatGPT doing is taking the facts and organizing them for me so that a lawyer can take them. And it's so crazy because I never been through this. Like, I thought once lawyers see a case, they make you sign papers, they got you. But no, man, they don't. So now I'm taking the discrepancies to the lawyers, and I'm going to tell you what these discrepancies are. I'm about to tell you what these discrepancies are. Okay? They was really trying to concoct some. Let me stop rambling. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to read y'all these discrepancies and y'all tell me how crazy this sound when they trying to report that my son died from fentanyl. So, final analysis autopsy report. All right, so the major red flags and discrepancies. Number 1, head bleeding and blood stain seen, not investigated for trauma. EMS stated, blood coming out of the mouth and surrounding the head. The autopsy confirms blood-soaked thermal head covering and blood-stained sheet. Autopsy concludes no significant blunt, sharp force, or penetrating injuries, but also notes a profuse plume of white foam arises from the oral cavity with blood-tinged foam from the nose. The discrepancy is the amount of blood should have triggered detailed investigation into facial nasal trauma, pulmonary hemorrhage, or vomiting-related esophageal rupture. The red flag is pathologist fails to explain where the blood came from. The presence of blood around the head is minimized in the official cause and manner of death. This could suggest a missed injury, overdose-related hemorrhage, or CPR-related trauma. Now, going back to what Quatita Dean said, asphyxiation, I can't breathe. Pathologist ignores critical drugs found in toxicology report. Final autopsy opinion only names fentanyl, norfentanyl, and bupropion. When I told y'all my son had minor mental health, the tox report also shows parafluorofentanyl, a dangerous analog, that's propionyl fentanyl, hydrobupropion, and other metabolites, amphetamines, and methamphetamines in his urine. The discrepancy, the pathologist excludes dangerous analogs and additional substances from the final conclusion. That narrows the death to fentanyl intoxication, which may skew the legal frame into personal abuse rather than contaminated or misrepresented substances. The discrepancy, the pathologist excludes dangerous analogs. Oh, wait. This helps shift liability off any facility, supplier, or criminal source. So that's what's happening. That's why everything taking so long. Everybody moving so slow. They want... What happened? Why would my phone do... Hold on. Now, contradictory statements about medical history and medications. Autopsy states no history of drug abuse, but notes mental illness and treatment with Wellbutrin, hydroxyzine, and Abilify. Yet earlier documents, EMS scene, says no medications listed, no psychiatric history known at the scene. Why would he be in Jobcorp without this stuff known when his therapist is the one that referred him there? Yet earlier documents, hold up. All right, so the discrepancy here, if he was under active psychiatric treatment, where was the medication stored and who administered it? Why did EMS not know? Was there medical oversight or neglect in monitoring his mental health and medication reactions? Also, number 4, unexplained neck injury and pulmonary findings. Autopsy notes. A 3 centimeter by 2.5 centimeter contusion bruise of posterior right thyroid cartilage. Patchy hemorrhage at sternal notch. That's down here. So when I seen him, they had him covered up all the way up here. I couldn't see none of that, but he felt very hollow. But pulmonary congestion, blood-tinged frothy edema, but says no trauma and manner of death is accidental overdose. Concern that thyroid cartilage bruise is a potential sign of struggle, asphyxia, violent CPR, or aggressive airway attempt. The presence of neck bruising and pulmonary bleeding without a thorough differential diagnosis, positional asphyxia, airway obstruction, raises suspicion. Now, I'm probably going to have to go into a part 3 because this is about to go... this is about to be off, but now can you see why I'm just going to go ahead to part 3.